Hello, StormCast Eternals. We are building this Lord Arcanum on Gryph Charger. This is from the Soul Wars set. And it's one of the few unique models to the Soul Wars set that isn't in the Tempest of Souls. So I'm going to build this one, and I'm going to share probably the rest of the models with my niece, if she's interested. So I'm going to cut out E6. So there's little numbers on there. So apparently this is E. Yes, there it says E. E. And then we're going to find 6. It's easy because it should be pretty big. Yeah, there's the 6 right there. Okay, and I found it pretty easily because it has this staff on it. And what you want to do is pick out the places on the sprue where it looks to be the weakest and most easily broken, and you want to cut those first. And you want to put the flat part of the clippers against the model. You want to make sure you don't need that part to actually attach. So I'm probably moving quicker than a beginner would be. Doing this, a beginner would probably be much more careful. Now, it looks like I just need the hand there. I don't need this little thing. And the fact that it's sort of shaped like a triangular prism, like a triangle in 3 dimensions, tells me also that it's part of the sprue and not part of the model, because that's typically what, see, this would have been real weak, and if I had cut this last and cut these big heavy parts off first, this part would have probably broken. So now I can just go around and clip the rest of it. Now here, this is confusing. I know that that right there is going to go down into the base, so I want to cut not here, but I want to cut here. And I can cut here, here. Sometimes you can't get it to it from the front, so you have to go to the back. Yep, like there. There. When you flip it over, it's on the opposite end, of course. And the piece is loose. And then what you do is, if you're a beginner, you use a piece of sanding block to get off that little mark of where it was attached to the sprue. The sprue is this part right here. The sanding block is nice and flexible. You can cut pieces off of it to get down into tight spots. It's not the way I do it, because because it takes a little bit more time. But definitely a good way for beginners. Okay, I'm going to show you how I would do it, just because this is taking way too long. And I also have a responsibility not to make the video too long. See, I could easily cut my thumb there. So that's why the sandpaper is much safer. But you do want to make sure that you've removed every place where it's been attached to the sprue, because that'll make your model look real ugly at the end. Do it the way I say, not the way I did it. And what I would have done if this was my piece of sanding paper, if I intend to send the sanding block to my niece, is if this was my sanding block, I would cut a piece of it so I could get in those fine corners. You just cut it with the scissors. And then there's mold lines. Any place where there's a line on it that there wouldn't be in real life. But this was so well molded, I don't actually see any mold lines, even on the staff. What they did is they made it kind of polygonal, kind of like a polygon in 3 dimensions, so that it doesn't show any mold lines. So pretty well done, Games Workshop. And there is piece 6. Now we want piece 7, which looks like another talon here. So that's going to be a small one. So that'll be easy to find. We're looking for a small piece. 7. 7 should be right there, and it's missing. That's not good. So hopefully I'll be able to find that. I'm not going to leave the camera and go look for it. And I bought this used. It could have been lost too, definitely. I can make one. I know what it has to be. I can make one out of green stuff. E11. So E11 is, looks like maybe possibly, oh, it's the breastplate for the chest of the Griffin. And you have to leave this little part on here because this attaches the 2 parts. So this goes up into the chest right here. And it links those 2 parts of the body together. So I'll just leave that hanging on there. And then we have E6, which looks like the other part of the head, maybe. Oh, it can't be E6. Okay, this assembly right here is these parts right here made together. So there's like a little thought bubble that goes over to this thing, like in a comic book when they're thinking something, and it goes over to this piece, and then this piece needs to attach to where the hand was on the staff. So I think I will continue building this off camera, and then, especially since there's a piece I need to look for and make. And then I'll get back to you with another video on when I prime it. Thanks, StormCast Eternals.